breakfast at Jefferson Inn, a nice good cup of coffee, orange juice, a grilled English muffin, yogurt parfait, amazing fried potatoes, and an absolutely amazing ham, cheese, and mushroom omelet. All with a view. I am back on trail with video, baby. So I just got on the Colonel Whipple Trail. I walked down to the corner store from the Jefferson Inn, which is within sight, and I couldn't remember, and I couldn't be bothered looking it up, how much Motrin I had, or Nuprin, either one, I had in my food cache that I was picking up today. I didn't know if I had 2 in there for every day, or just 2 in there for every other day, or if I had none. I don't know. Anyway, so I stopped in the corner store and I picked up a 4-pack of Motrin for like $2.79, which was a bonus because honestly I would have paid more than that just to make sure I had some. Because I woke up at like 3 a.m. and my knees hurt, especially my right one hurt so bad. I could barely move. Like I had to get out of bed to change over what was charging, and it was all I could do to stand. And so I took the last 2 Motrin I had right then and there. So stopped at the corner store, picked up 4 Motrin in a little packet. And then the corner store is actually on the corner of whatever highway that is and 115, which is where I need to go, is 115 south for 2.4 miles, and then 0.7 miles on the Whipple Road, which is the dirt road. And I started hitching. And I'm not a purist. I'm not ashamed of hitchhiking for that 2.4 plus 0.7, because after all, I did an extra 4 miles when I hiked up that trail that did not go to Bald Head Shelter. So I figure I'm still ahead of the game as far as Cohos Trail miles go. So this nice guy from Canada, his name was Trevor. He had a rental car, so he didn't care about driving on the gravel road, and he drove me all the way down to Whipple Road and to the trailhead. We had to stop a little bit before the trailhead, maybe 3/10 of a mile, because they were unloading some stuff off of a low bed, and he had the all the jacks out on it. So we had to wait for them to pull the jacks in, and then he could drive by. I told him he didn't have to wait. I could go ahead and hike it. He goes, "No, I'm not going anywhere too fast." So I got out and thanked him very much profusely. Told him I had a food cache here to pick up, and I would be sitting here a few minutes to get the food cache. And I'm sitting there with the food cache all scattered out around me, and he drove back in and backed into the pull-off for the trail. And he got out, and I said, "Hey, are they still unloading? Have they blocked you off again?" He said, "No, I just figured I'd eat my lunch here and wait while they finished up." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he sat in the tailgate of his rental vehicle there and had a sandwich while I was sorting through all my food. So food carries on my back. There's some stuff I left behind in the food cache, some food, but also a couple other things I've been carrying that I haven't used and don't think I will. One of them was Wiggles goggles. The only place I'd planned to use them, or thought I would have to use them, was a Kilkenny. Although in hindsight, I probably should have used them on Bogbridge Trail with all the slash we were going through. But anyway, I won't need them in the whites, and so dropped them. Also dropped the extended battery for my Osmo because for some reason it is not charging. I don't know what happened there, but it won't charge. So I'll probably have to get a replacement or something when I get back. But I figured there was no sense in carrying it anymore. Wonderful breakfast this morning at the inn. And Linda is such a wonderful lady. If you have any reason to visit Jefferson, or if you're doing the Cohos Trail, plan to stay there because she is fantastic. She makes you feel like right at home. Literally, like their house is out behind the actual inn. And when I first checked in, she goes, "Oh, so if you want, deadbolt the door when you go to bed, but, otherwise," I said, "Okay, so if I go out late at night to take the dog out, am I going to get locked out?" And she said, "No, the door's not locked, so you can just lock the deadbolt if you want to." So I'm like, "Yep, right at home," because half the time I don't have my door locked at all. So, yeah, so I didn't lock the deadbolt because I didn't even think about it. And that was it. So I had the entire place to myself. There was nobody else there. She had a huge family checking in today that was going to be taking up all the rooms. So she was getting busy with that for this morning, for their check-in at 3. And I have 12 plus miles to go today. Could have been worse because I had planned to camp somewhere here on Whipple Trail, and I would have had to do, and because I stayed at the inn, I had all that road walk to do this morning, but thanks to Trevor, I did not have to do that. And I'm so appreciative of it. All right, I'm going to close off here and we'll get to hiking. I have to really get my butt in gear because it's already 11:43. About 1.25 miles, maybe 2 miles in on Whipple Trail. First it was this beautiful grassy trail that had been all weed whacked, and it was wonderful. And then it turned into this rock strewn knee-high grass trip fest, and then it became just bogboard after bogboard after bogboard, which was nice that I wasn't going through all that mucky stuff. Now it's opened up into this nice little trail in the woods. I think I'm approaching the ice ramparts, which I have no idea what that even is geologically. I should have looked at it before, but I didn't. I'm sure there'll be some kind of sign there, and I'll learn all about it. And then I end up on the Presidential Rail Trail for 2 miles, and it occurred to me now that I left my sun hat in the ammo cache this morning because I just hadn't been using it the last several days, and figured I was going more into trails on the whites and didn't think I'd really need it. And I don't know what this Presidential Rail Trail is all about. I think subconsciously I'm thinking of the rail trail in Warren, which I hike frequently, which is all shaded. So, oops, up and over. And this may very well not be shaded, and I may regret not having my sun hat. But that's what you do when you end up trying to get a little bit of room and save a little bit of weight in your pack, as you make sacrifices. So there we go. Of course, I also left my sun sleeves in there, so I don't have those either. I do still have my sunscreen. I considered leaving that, but I didn't. So I can always put sunscreen on if it's brutal. We've gotten rid of the gnats, whatever those nasty things were, which I am covered in bug bites from. Now we have mosquitoes. But for some reason those aren't bothering me anywhere near as bad And the bug spray I do have, I think will work for mosquitoes. It's a citronella stuff, so it's says it's safe for kids, so I figured it'd be safe for the dog. It's really oily, so when you spray it, it's not really a misty spray, it's just sploot, sploot. So I just squirt some on my hand and then rub my hands together and then rub them over his ears and top of his head and side of his head and all that stuff. And it seemed to work for him for the gnats. They weren't bothering him as bad when we took a break. It did nothing for me. I literally sprayed some on my arm, spread it around, and then watch a couple gnats land and bite. So it didn't affect them. But I think it might work on the mosquitoes. So if they get too bad, I may put some of that on. I considered getting some like deep woods, deep loading spray at the corner store, but I decided against it. You know, but the kids safe stuff. It's like, okay, so we want to keep the kids safe from cancer, from DEET, all while protecting them from West Nile virus. But the stuff doesn't even really work to keep these biting little things off of you. So there's that. Alright, I'm gonna sign off here and I'll catch you at the ice ramparts, whatever they are. Okay, here I am at the Ice Ramparts Trail, a National Wildlife Refuge boundary. No sign about what the ice ramparts are, but maybe a little bit further up when we actually reach them, whatever they are. I don't know. This may just be a trail, and the land may have been formed by some geological thing eons ago, and I may not even recognize what it is, but oops, we shall see. I'll shut this off for now until I get to something that looks unusual. Okay, it just opened up to this, which is gorgeous. I think I go partially away around the pond. I don't remember. Okay, we've come out of the edge of the grassland and at the edge of Cherry Pond now. Beautiful spot. Okay, this isn't actually a rail trail, this is actually a railroad track. So I don't know if it's no longer used and they just haven't pulled everything up yet and made it into a trail, but I was not expecting this. This is gonna be hard on Wiggle's feet. It's rocks, but I'll get through it. I don't think it's very far. Whew. Looks like two backpackers up ahead. Okay, that was only a short little section of the railroad, and then a left turn onto this trail, which I think is gonna go around Pond, Cherry Pond, whatever. A nice little trail, and it's in the shade. Whew. The others were, it looked like three older people day hiking, and they had continued on down. The rail line turned sharp right, and they went straight ahead on a trail, and I turned sharp left onto this trail. So although I haven't been hiking. Oh, now there's people on bikes coming up next to me here.
Not much room over there. It'll be safe right here. This is the National Wildlife Refuge. See?
Might as well go out on this little overlook for a second.
Yeah.
Hello. Hey there. Catching anything?
He did. Caught a
Yeah?
small pike.
It's a pretty little spot, huh?
Beautiful. That's awesome. Here, let's come over.
I just spent quite a long time talking to those 4 young men there at the pond lookout. Andreas, let me get it right here. Andreas, Isaac, Andreas, Isaac, Sahil, and Taylor? No. Tyler? No. I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, 4 very nice young men. Isaac is still in college. He's in his last year. He's got 1 year left, rather. The others are out of college. They all met during a study abroad program and have been good friends ever since. And I know they'll be lifelong friends. As they said, we travel well together. So they've learned the secret. If you can travel with someone, you can be with them forever. So anyway, I spent way too long there, but it was well worth it. I enjoyed every minute of talking with him. And I may see one of them again because he comes up to Dartmouth College for different events. He's a biology major, so he knows where I work, and he may see me sometime. So that'd be great. I'm on this rail trail. It's going to be hot, but at least it's not still a railroad line. On sort of a bit of shady section here. Lots of piles of horse manure. So people must ride on this trail too, which would be wonderful to ride through here. It's already 2:22. I should stop for lunch at some point. I should have maybe had lunch while sitting there talking to those young men, but I never took my pack off, and it was kind of in the sun, so it was hot. Wiggles was under one of the benches, so he stayed pretty cool. But yeah, I think I will make it to the end of the rail trail and then hopefully find a decent place to stop before I start the trail. I do have a little bit of trail before I start to climb up Mount Martha, and that's like I don't know, 2,300 feet of gain. And I have to go through Martha's Mile, which is supposed to be pretty hard. I don't know what time I'll get to camp tonight. It's already so late in the afternoon. We shall see. And the worst part is it's a Friday night. I was expecting to be doing this on a Thursday. And it's a bunch of tent sites along the trail where I'll be stopping. And I will bet my life that when I get there, all of them will be full. And I'll have to rely on someone's generosity to let me share their tent site. Since I don't need a spot, I just need trees to hang from. Hopefully I can do that. All right, I'm about to go into the sunny section again, so. I think I'm nearing the end of the rail trail, where I'll turn off onto a regular trail. Looks like there might be a bit of a view from this bridge. Maybe not. Well, yeah, maybe. A little bit. Yeah, so the turnoff for the trail was just beyond that bridge. And I am on this trail now. I have 6/10 of a mile of this trail, which is relatively flat, before I get to the trail that starts the, I want to say it's like 2,300 feet of ascent up to Owl's Head and Mount Martha beyond that. Along in there is a section called Martha's Mile, which I've heard is, although it's not actually technically a mile, I think it's 7/10 of a mile, which is actually, I think, I've heard hard, and I don't know if it's hard because it's steep. It doesn't look as steep as some of the other sections up to Owl's Head and Mount Martha, or if it's because it's kind of more bushwhacking. Could very well be because people who climb either may not necessarily do it in the same day. So they might go up this trail to Owl's Head, but they'll come in from the other side from Mount Martha. So that 7/10 of a mile between the two may be a not very well traveled trail. So it may be more bushwhacky or something, I don't know. I guess we'll find out when we get there. It is 3:20 right now. I stopped to take a break at about the 1 3/4 mile mark on that 2-mile rail trail. I got to a nice shady section where the trail was pretty wide and stopped there for a bit of a break. We got all kinds of air traffic doing crazy things. I keep hearing like a prop job, you know, like it's diving or climbing or something. It may be that they're practicing for an air show for 4th of July weekend, maybe? I don't know. I just find it bizarre. Lots of bog bridges here, but it's all weed whacked, which is wicked nice. Oh, look at that beautiful piece of driftwood, or whatever that is. Oh, I gotta take a photo of that. Hold on. I'm off Side Brook Trail. I don't know if that's Owl's Head what I'm about to climb, or if that's Mount Martha, or what. I don't know. I guess I could stop and look at the map, but honestly, I don't want to take the time. I'm either going up there or I'm not. So I've been just a couple 100 feet through this field, and oh my gosh, it smells so sweet. All the flowers. It's just wonderful. I could lay down and go to sleep right here. Take a nice long nap. Ooh, I don't know what those are, but look at the size of those. Like, well, they're obviously not dandelions, but whatever they are. They're sort of all over the place too. I was just about to say, what a rooty, horrible mess this trail is. And I just face planted because my one stick got stuck and I was already in forward motion, and boom, down I went, full on flat bodied face plant. No time to get hands or knees out. So yeah, this trail is it's not steep, so oh man, my thigh really hurts. This trail is not steep so far, but the roots are like anywhere from a couple inches to as much as a foot up out of the ground. So yeah, fun times. Just came down that embankment over there to the other side of this stream to take a break. Collected some water and filtered. I'm carrying 2 full liters filtered, and I've got 1 liter in the Cont. And because I'm not going to make the mistake I was making on the Kilkenny, I'm not happy about carrying that extra water up Owl's Head. I am at the part right now where now it starts to get really steep. I'm about, I would guess, 1 mile in trail, looking at the map, and kind of trying to see where the tiny little blue line is, where this indicates a stream. I knew that there was a stream about halfway up, so I was planning to stop there. I'm assuming this is the one, and like I said on the map, it looks like it. Like I said, it's about 1 mile up, and this is a 2.3 mile climb to Owl's Head. And the really steep section starts now. And the wiggle butt is, of course, flat out resting, which is what he always does as soon as we stop. He's not happy that he's no longer on the extendable lead, but I didn't try to fix it when I was at the Jefferson Inn. I can't say enough again about how wonderful the Jefferson Inn was, how wonderful Linda was. It was just a really, really great experience. I felt very well rested when I left there this morning, just so much better. I got up about 3 a.m. I think I already said, with my right knee especially just absolutely killing me. I could barely, I could not stand because I could not straighten it out. So I kind of sort of squat shuffled over to check the things that were charging and switch them out and everything. But I took 2 Motrin then, and I felt much better when I got out. And I left this morning with a pack on my back and a spring in my step. I just felt absolutely great. I still feel pretty good. My right knee is hurting a little bit, not a whole lot. My feet feel pretty good. The blister on the outside of my left heel is bothering me a bit, but for the most part, all of them are doing much better. Mosquitoes are a pain, but I did put some of that kid-friendly citronella bug stuff on just now when we stopped, well, a few minutes ago, and I've been not inundated with them, so just a few here and there, so that's pretty good. I can put up with a few mosquitoes, but those gnats on the Kilkenny were, I thought it was going to go insane, truly. There were a couple times when I literally just screamed and said, I can't do this anymore. So, I'm feeling much better now. And I've been here like 30 minutes, so it's time to get a move on. All right, check in later. I don't know how much further I have to Owl's Head, but it's steep, but nowhere near Kilkenny Ridge steep. And Kilkenny Ridge, I was, well, that about killed me. Well, what am I doing here? There, that's where I'm heading up. Kilkenny Ridge was so steep, and I was so exhausted, and just, I would have to, like, I would only hike like maybe half a mile, and then I'd have to stop for like, pack off for 20 minutes. Here, I've been doing like 15 minutes, which probably isn't that far, and then 10 minutes, probably 10 to 12 minutes, and then a 2-minute stop with pack on, just to catch my breath and or give Wiggles water. And that's been working well. I'm making slow and steady progress. The trail isn't too bad as far as rocks and stuff go. It's I did have a section there which was really nice before the creek stopped there. There was a section that was really nice, and it was just nice dirt path with leaves all crumbled on it. I took like 45 minutes at that water break. I should not have taken that long because I was hoping to make it up to Owl's Head by 6. I will not do that because it's actually 1 minute till 6 right now. I don't know how much further I have. I don't know, probably a quarter of a mile, I'm guessing. But I'll get there when I get there. That's all I can do. I believe I'm almost at the top of Owl's Head. I'm about to die here. This last bit has been brutal. Like Kilkenny brutal. Just no blowdowns. All right, onward. Well, I don't see a sign, but I believe I'm at the top of Owl's Head. And that pointy thing right over there, I don't know how am I pointing to it. I think that's Mount Martha, and that's the pointy thing we saw down at the end of the rail trail. So that way over there, like the water there, that's Cherry Pond, where we were like just, I don't know, 4:30 this hour, or 2:30 this afternoon. And by golly, there's an airstrip down there, so yep, they were doing stuff. Let's see if I can zoom in on. I don't have much zoom with this camera, but anyway, it's a pond again. That's where the airstrip is, and then I think, pretty sure that's Mount Martha. Alrighty, it is 7:06. Ugh. Here's the view from the other side of Owl's Head. hammock and tarp are set up. I stopped not very long after coming off the top of Owl's Head. It was already 7:23. My right knee is absolutely killing me, and the first 20-30 feet down from the top of Owl's Head was pretty, it was more bouldering, so it was, in fact, even Wiggles was kind of scared and I had to carry him down. So anyway, dinner is cooking. I'm trying not to start a forest fire here. Luckily alcohol burns like quick and hot, so it doesn't really, anyway. So I'm having Koyo lemongrass ginger ramen, and I will put a pack of just regular tuna in it. I am trying not to do what I did on the Kilkenny, which was hike till very late and then not even eat, and then just start it all over again the next day. And I was tired, I wasn't fueled well, it wasn't good. So trying to do better. I'm all ready for bed as far as I'm out of my clothes, all that's done. I mean, the first thing I always do is empty the backpack so I can get out the hammock because it's at the bottom, and hang my hammock and then hang the tarp immediately afterwards. So in that process, I'm also getting undressed and changed, and now dinner. Wiggles has already eaten his dinner. He ate quite a bit of food, so he was hungry boy. I think I just ran out. Oh, no. All right. I got to check this. I got to check this ramen. I'll be back shortly. Okay. It is exactly 9 o'clock. I was hoping to be in bed a little bit earlier, but just, I don't know. It takes forever to sort everything and get everything, like all the smellies in the smell-proof bag and all that stuff. Do everything I have to do. Wiggles ate really good tonight, which I'm glad. He's finally eating good. I had a good dinner, and I'm excited about that because I think it'll fuel me well for tomorrow. My knee is killing me, but I took 2 Motrin. Didn't think of taking them until after dinner. I probably should have taken them before, but that's okay. But, you know, another reason I struggled all through Kilkenny, not eating dinner, was because I didn't do well in collecting water. I mean, I missed the last place to collect water, it seemed like, for 3 days in a row. And that meant I wasn't cooking dinner. I didn't have the water to spare, so I didn't cook dinner. So I've done much better tonight, or today. So I have 2, I think 2 full liters. I've got 1 full liter bottle that's already filtered, and I've got a liter, if not a little more, in my bag, ready to filter in the morning. So we'll start off with 2 liters tomorrow, and that'll be good. I am way behind in mileage right now. So far, so much for making some mileage up. I have the 0.7, because I haven't come that far, the 0.7 to Martha's, Mount Martha. So that means, well, at least I'm starting with a descent down off of Owl's Head, and then up Mount Martha, and then down Mount Martha, and all of that to get to where I should have camped tonight is 3.5 plus 0.7, so 4.2. So I'm 4.2 miles behind for today. I didn't expect that, and not because I left really late, the inn, but I also had that hitchhike. That was the 2.4 plus 0.7, so that's 3.1. So 3.1 miles I had a hitchhike, so I did have to sort through the food cache, because it's not been as simple as just throwing it in my bag and going, because I've realized that, and I'm glad for this, but I've kind of like overpacked how much food I needed each day. So I had to kind of sort through all the snacks and, put most of them back into the cache.
And plus I don't know, for some reason I had 4 dinners, and like I'm only got 3 nights left on trail or something like that. I mean, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night, yeah, because I'll be picked up Monday night. So anyway, I think we'll sleep good tonight. It's quite windy up here. It's supposed to rain probably after midnight, but I think it'll be just showers through the night and should be done with in the morning, I think, and then thunderstorms tomorrow afternoon. But I am so thankful I was not coming up or going down this first bit of Owl's Head in the wet, because it would have been brutal. I don't care if you were coming down it or going up it, it would have been brutal in the wet, because there were just too many open slabs of granite and all that, all those little tiny needles that are just slick as snot when they get wet. And yeah. So anyway, but all right, I'm going to close this out, and I'll see you tomorrow for day 15, because today was day 14. So tomorrow's day 15. Yay!